Hello. In this video, we are going to jump into commoditized pricing versus value-based pricing, something we talk a lot about with a real-life scenario from a student from the community. So let's jump in and we'll look at how this student Calista can be getting paid quite a lot more by repositioning against the outcome she's driving, not the tasks she's doing. So let's take a look. Alrighty, so I'll share Calista's question on the screen. A little bit of context here is that Calista is working on a new service offering that I think is really, really cool, where she's basically doing A/B testing of game images within like the App Store. I think it's perfect for her. I'm really excited about her progress with it. And she's been getting a lot of good engagement with her cold outreach campaigns from the 200K Freelancer course, and in fact paused it because she got a lot of interest, which is just so awesome to see. But we have this question around rates, pricing, that kind of thing. So what Calista did is, in my experience, not the best way to position it because it kind of anchors into commoditized pricing. And basically, the core fundamental premise of being a commodity, whether you're a commodity freelancer or a commodity good or whatever, is this idea of interchangeability. So as a rule, if you say, I am a JavaScript developer, I design you screenshots, I do blah, blah, blah task, it subtly implies that if the client wants to hire somebody else who can do the same task, who can describe themselves in the same way, that the end result they'll get will be the same. That's what a commodity is. It is an interchangeable thing where it doesn't really matter where you get it. You just have to get it. That's a commodity. Whereas value-based pricing and differentiation in general is about not being like this interchangeable, swappable thing. And that's what we're going to talk about with positioning today. So in this case, the kind of red flags that go up for me with Calista's situation here from a commoditization perspective are number one, this one, and number two, this one. I don't know if I'll put this on the podcast. I don't know if Calista will even say I can share this, but what I just highlighted on my screen is Calista said two things. Someone asked her about pricing, and she said, for a full set of polished Play Store screenshots, 6 to 8 images, my current rate is $230. If you need regular work, I also have a weekly package at $370, which includes up to 2 sets and priority revisions. And then she does go on to say that what she does isn't just making great designs, but also ones that convert well. However, the problem in this case is that all of her anchoring for like what you get in exchange for your money is attached to commoditized things. So she says a full set of polished Play Store screenshots, that costs $230. So she says, you get designed images for money. And then over here, you can get a weekly package, which includes 2 sets of designed images for money. But the reason I'm so excited about Calista's service is the ability for her service offering to drive a huge impact to the right clients. If she's running these A/B tests and she can, like on a month-over-month basis, be driving like a 10% increase to the number of downloads through repeated A/B testing, which I think is very doable for her, that can mean tens of thousands of dollars for the right clients, like clients who have millions of downloads for their games. That difference in downloads from better images will make a huge difference to the bottom line. That's why I'm so excited about her service. And this positioning for the pricing doesn't even reflect that. It's really just saying, hey, you can pay me $230, you can go find someone cheaper, maybe you can have ChatGPT do it with Dolly, and it's all the same, who cares? So in this case, I told her I'd advise against it, and I'll just dig into this a little bit deeper now. We were going to talk live, but she couldn't come to today's office hours. So what I would do instead is anchor against the outcome. And there are a lot of pricing strategies you can do that are attached to outcomes in various ways. So like something that I've done in my conversion rate optimization agency is gone so far as to offer guarantees or go so far as to only price based on performance. These are advanced strategies because they carry risk for you, the freelancer, right? Like if you only charge if you drive results And then in your process of driving results, like something comes up out of your control that causes your results to get diminished, like through no fault of your own. Maybe your project did drive results, but they did something that drove anti-results and still affected the key performance indicator that you're tracking. And so it doesn't seem like you drove results. Like so many things could go wrong, and then you don't get paid. So that's why performance-based pricing would be a bit more of an advanced strategy. But in any case, even if you don't do an advanced pricing strategy like a guarantee or like performance-based pricing, you can still primarily anchor your services against that. So what I would say in Calista's case, the lowest hanging risk fruit, like if she didn't want to mess with any kind of guarantee, any kind of performance pricing, but she still wanted to value anchor, the way Calista I would recommend that you position this would be, instead of saying for a full set of images I charge this, or you can get a weekly package that charge this, I would anchor against the thing that's going to drive the outcome. So in this case, and for anyone watching, like ask yourself, if somebody hires me and they want to get XYZ end result, and I'm doing the tasks they hired me for, obviously in an effort to get them to that result, how can I price based on like progress towards the result, which I happen to do via my tasks, rather than price based on the tasks themselves? So if someone hires you to build an app for them, or to support their customers, or to fulfill their services for them, if you're like a subcontractor, pricing against like the thing that makes them money, the thing that gets them the outcome. So to circle this back, in Calista's case, Calista, I'd say that if you wanted to anchor this against the lowest risk way, but still outcome attached, would be probably offering, like if you wanted to keep these two options where you have one retainer option and one kind of one-off option, you could anchor against the fact that it is iterative testing that's going to drive more downloads. So instead of saying for a full set of polished Play Store screenshots, I'd probably say something like, if you want to like dip a toe in the water, I would suggest my 3-test package, which is usually enough to drive like 5 to 10%. And each test, basically, I roll out some screenshots and A/B test them to see what's converting better, and then iterate. And by the end of this, most clients would see blah, blah, blah result. In Calista's case, she's still new to this service offering, so she wouldn't be able to probably cite these kinds of case studies yet. So she could do something like, I would expect you will see blah, blah, blah result. At the end of the day, if you, Calista, or you, the watcher, listener, is new to a service offering and you don't have results, but the whole reason someone's hiring you is to get results, ultimately you're a risky hire, right? Like you're just saying, hire me and take it on faith, even though I can't substantiate that I'm able to do this thing I'm promising. And that's where something like a performance-based pricing model or some kind of guarantee is helpful, because your close rate on your sales calls, if you are trying to drive an outcome but you can't substantiate your ability to do so, is going to be lower than it will be once you have 10 of these clients under your belt. Like once you can say, oh, I did this for them, like your closer is gonna be way higher because the clients will believe without a doubt that you can do it. So if this were me and I'm not so risk averse, I would probably do something like, here's a three test package. It costs like $1,000. And if it doesn't get you at least 5 or 10 or whatever % bump to your monthly downloads, I'll keep running A/B tests until we get you there. That's how I would do it, because then you're not going to be out the money. You don't have to like get paid $0. You'll just have to do a lot more work. The risk here, of course, I've been in situations in the past where I'll create performance-based pricing incentives or bonus incentives and stuff like that for offers that I'm new to. And I'm so new that like I just have unrealistic expectations about the kind of results I can drive. And so I anchor all my incentives to what I later learn were just like wildly unrealistic targets. So in this case with Calista, like imagine that she anchored to 10%. And this isn't, 10% of the people who are on the Play Store and see the game download. It's like a 10% improvement over whatever their rate was before. So if they were converting 30% before, 10% more than that is now 33%, just to be clear. But suppose that that the 10% is not realistic, and that even a 1% increase, like so 30 to 31, which would have been a 3.3% boost. Imagine that even that would have been hugely ROI positive for the client. Like it would have made them $10,000 or something. It would have been kind of a missed opportunity to anchor against the 10, with the 10 being some really hard target. So that's the risk there. But nonetheless, let me rewind. We were saying this is the low risk route. So if you're going low risk, anchor against the outcome and just leave it there. And you're at least not going to be commoditized. So you could say, if we're just swapping the exact offer Calista has here, instead of for a full set of images, my current rate is blank. You would instead say, for an A/B test, which I expect should typically drive around 5%, I charge this. And then and you can say that you do images for the test or whatever. But in this case, like I don't think it would be smart for Calista to charge in any way that only has one set of images, because like the value is through iteration. So if it were me, I wouldn't even offer a 1 test package. I would offer like 3 tests minimum. But nonetheless, if we're swapping it, that's what we do. And then for the retainer, I would cut the weekly and go for monthly instead. And again, have it be more about that A/B testing iteration. So it's not if you want regular design work, which is just commoditized. It's like if you want more downloads, because who doesn't want more downloads? You know, like if you're serious about getting as many downloads into your game as you can and getting as many paid users as you can, what I recommend is this monthly package that costs blank, where I do at least 5 A/B tests a month. And then if you wanted to stack and make it sexier, you could add the guarantee or whatever. So that's the thought here. And that's the thing to think about, is like, there's this spectrum of risk and appeal, and they go hand in hand. So the more appealing something is for a client, the more risky it is for you. The less risky something is for you, the less appealing it is for a client. So you have to decide, like, do you want it to be more appealing and close more sales from your sales calls, but potentially waste time sometimes, especially when you're learning what you're doing? Or do you want to preserve all your time, but you'll waste time going on sales calls that don't close? That's kind of the risk reward analysis you have to do. And yeah, I think that's about it. So hopefully you found this helpful. Think about how this applies to you. And the easiest low-hanging fruit takeaway is like, you don't have to mess with weird creative pricing. Just when you describe how you charge on what you charge for. This is, if I were to distill this whole video into like 30 seconds, it's this. If you were to describe how you charge, what you charge for, the thing you are charging for is the outcome, not the tasks. The tasks are just shit you do to get the outcome. So think about how you can do that with your own service. So if you're a developer, you don't say, I charge $100 an hour for development. You might say, like, I charge in, I don't know, these, because it's tough if you're building an app, right? Like you might charge in incremental installments towards an app or something. Let me pause and think about this one. Okay, so I've thought about it. The way it would work for the developer one, you probably, if you charge hourly now, you'd still charge hourly. But the difference is that instead of you saying, I charge $100 an hour, whatever, you instead say, so you want your app to be done. I would estimate that in order to get you a functional app that provides you blah, blah, blah benefit that they want the app for, it'll probably take me about XYZ hours at whatever cost. And so that's kind of the takeaway with both the Calista example and the dev example, is like you go one step beyond just the tasks that you fulfill or the exact scope of the project, and you speak to the thing that project does. So in Calista's case, if she's designing screenshots for the App Store listing, they're not buying these screenshots because they just like screenshots. They're buying the screenshots because they want more downloads. If someone's hiring you to build an app, they're not getting the app because they just want an app. They're getting the app because of blank. Maybe they want to increase the LTV, the lifetime value of their customers. Maybe they want to like hedge against the competition. Maybe they want a new revenue stream entirely. Like whatever that is, it's your job to anchor against that core thing they want and show that these tasks you're doing move towards that. And then if you want to take it a step further, which would be smart and be protected against commoditization, the thing that you really need to do is make it clear why they should hire you instead of someone else. Like why you are more poised to get them to that thing they actually want than somebody else who might call themselves some similar commoditized label. So in Calista's case, like, Calista, why should I hire you over another designer? What do you do that a regular ass designer who like plays video games couldn't do? How is it that you help me get more downloads that a regular ass designer wouldn't? And that's where this like A/B testing, conversion oriented tracking stuff comes in. Like I like to think of it as this like Venn diagram. The more that it requires this Venn diagram overlap in order to drive an outcome, the less commoditized it is. And as a developer, like, why couldn't they just hire some other cheap JavaScript developer to get this outcome? If the outcome is just you have a functional app, it's harder to substantiate. But if it's like you have an app that serves blah, blah, blah goal, that's where your background and experience working with other clients, creating similar apps for people who had similar goals, show that you're like a way better fit than another developer who might have the technical skills to make an app, but it won't necessarily actually reach their goals. So lots to chew on here. Have a think about how this applies to you, and see you in the next one. So if you thought this was cool and you'd like to create a situation like Calista, where you've got a lot of people getting in touch and you got to turn off your campaigns because you can't even serve all these requests of leads you're generating, and get out of that situation where you're reactive and reliant on luck and referrals like most freelancers for getting new clients, you might enjoy the 200K Freelancer course. We open it every so often. It's closed right now. We generally sell it out. Best way to join if you want to solve this lead gen problem is usually to get on the wait list. You can go to dyf.link/200KF, so 200KF. I don't know if that's even better than just the full link, which is dyf.link/200K Freelancer. If you want to follow that, and we'll make a little cool free course soon. I'm thinking where you can like choose your niche, even if you've struggled before, play with a little bit of lead gen, get your offer planned out so that you're protected against commoditization, protected against AI, lots of cool stuff kind of coming down the pipeline. So thanks for being here. dyf.link/200KF, and see you in the next video.